Hello, I'm David Chaston with 989, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, including news of a new round of rate cuts by Asian central banks. South Korea and Thailand cut official rates overnight, adding to recent reductions by China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan and Vietnam. All these countries operate pegged exchange rates. Central bankers won't utter the term, but the rising wave of surprise rate cuts has a strong sense of a currency war. In many of these currencies, rates were already very low, and it's hard to see how a few basis points lower can actually solve any of their growth problems. Across the Pacific, US retail sales for February have come in weaker than expected. They were up 1.7% year on year, but fell on a seasonally adjusted basis from the previous month. Lower petrol prices had an impact, but it was the unusual fall in general merchandise that had analysts' attention. Rough, cold weather in large parts of the country got some of the blame. At the same time, inventories came in flat in January, but the stocks-to-sales ratio was climbing. All the large US banks passed the Fed's annual regulatory stress tests, but the Bank of America passed only provisionally and could still fail later this year if it does not fix deficiencies that the Fed identified. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase and Morgan Stanley, which dominate Wall Street, each had to alter their planned payouts to investors to achieve passing grades. The American units of Deutsche Bank and Santander of Spain failed the tests outright. In China, their government may be forced to relax property regulations and support the country's weak real estate sector after sales dived more than 16% in January and February, and that added to the concerns of a sharper than expected downturn. In Australia, their unemployment rate fell marginally to 6.3%, but that was at the cost of a lower participation rate. 15,000 more people found jobs in February than January. The US Treasury 10-year yields are falling again today and now at 2.08%. New Zealand's wholesale rates were falling yesterday before the optimistic RBNZ MPS announcement, but then they reversed direction and ended unchanged. Crude oil prices are unchanged overnight at $48 a barrel, while the Brent crude price is holding at $57 a barrel. The gold price is also unchanged at $1,149 an ounce. The New Zealand dollar starts today at its highest level in over a week. It is now at 73.8 US cents, which is up more than 1.5 US cents. It is at 96 Aussie cents, and the TWI is at 79.1. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.